I remember the first time when I heard about Ghost Recon Wildlands. When the first gameplay teaser came out, I was stunned by the idea behind that game, taking a role of a special forces soldier going after a cartel in Bolivia with a huge open world, cool guns and gameplay, and on top of that it was a co-op game, but you can also play that alone. Now even then I stayed vigilant because I was burned many times when it came to Ubisoft. It seems like they have amazing ideas, yet when it comes to execution and the final product, somewhere along the line it just isn't what it was supposed to be. But even then I followed the development of the game, and after some cringy gameplay examples that Ubisoft released, I was able to play the game. The first thing I noticed was the world. It was truly a huge open map, and the idea behind that game is to dismantle the cartel piece by piece, go after bosses to reach El Sueño at the end. Now every single underboss got a piece of Bolivia, and some of those areas were low level, some were high level, but nothing was stopping you from going anywhere on the map and finishing missions as you please. Firstly, I want to say all the good things that I liked about the game. Generally, the setting and the idea, as I said, is the biggest plus behind this. Also, there are a number of ways you can finish a certain mission. Some do require stealth, but generally, you could have finished the mission like you wanted. Even if you wanted to go inside the base, guns blazing, nothing was stopping you. There are different difficulty levels, and you can set your own difficulty by disabling the HUD or not using the drone, so it was up to you how you wanted to play this game. You can choose from various weapons, going from pistols, light machine guns, assault rifles, shotguns, basically what your heart desires. You can also create your own character, limited, but still you can customize his clothes and various other stuff that didn't give you any special advantage, it was just a cosmetic item. And I always found that somewhat stupid, because if I equip the biggest armor in the game, I expect to be more bulletproof but also slower. Sadly, that wasn't the case. You can also use other things at your disposal, like calling the rebels or scouting the area, spawning a jeep or a helicopter. Entering the base was also tricky. You had alarms, guided missiles, mortars, snipers, etc. So if you wanted to be silent, it was always a challenge, again, depending on your difficulty level. It seems like Ubisoft games like Division and Wildlands made me really immersed in the game. I don't know why, maybe it's how a character walks, runs, holds the rifle. It made me feel like a soldier, like a true badass. Honestly, that made me play this game so much. Even the story was interesting for some time. Sadly, even that becomes weak at the end. I will talk about it during the next part of the video. So being a sandbox video game with a lot of choices to make during your mission, it had a lot of problems that made me angry as I was playing. So at times I was enjoying the game and having fun, but during some times it was frustrating to play. First thing is solo versus co-op. The idea is to have 4 players that will interact and plan their attack, using different roles to finish a mission, one being a sniper, 2 doing the attack, 1 with a car, etc. Now, experiencing moments that were straight out of Hollywood movies, like car chases and escaping the base, but what you get at the end is 4 players running around and there was no interaction at all. For me, it was really rare to find people who play the same as I, using silencers and stealth to infiltrate and finish the mission. So if you weren't playing with your friends or like-minded people, you will end up playing solo like me. Now, playing solo was boring at some times, but generally I didn't mind. I just used my AI-controlled teammates to provide support if something went sideways. Good thing is that AI is not causing problems, so they will not get in your way as you're playing solo. Meanwhile, when it comes to PvP co-op, aka Ghost Wars, I had a much better experience there than in the PvE segment of the game. I believe that people there are taking this game a bit more seriously than in PvE. Basically, people are going to be more stealthy and they're going to plan their attack a bit more than in PvE segment of this game. Now I will talk about the AI. The AI in this game is a joke. Honestly, 90% of me dying or alerting the enemy was how I misjudged the AI and how it was able to see me through the wall. Also, they have some form of aim which is able to hit you even if your shoelace is out visible from your cover. And the AI works in a hive kind of behavior. If one enemy is alerted, all of them will be, and it can cause a huge problem. So implementing all those tactics and using that equipment can be for nothing if the enemy has a godlike AI which can notice you easily and doesn't follow the logic of a normal behavior. Now the AI of my teammates is also questionable. Somehow they're able to spot an enemy inside the base in a house that has no windows. So they have no way of seeing him, but somehow they do. So if you were looking for a realistic experience, them doing that kinda ruins it. Next thing is the story and the environment. The story itself is interesting. You have a lot of characters that I encountered that looked unique and had a different role in a cartel organization. The main boss, El Sueño, is a different character than you usually meet, and their names are associated with their personality or the work they do, since El Sueño means the dream. The story tells you that he had a dream about one organization being on top of everyone and him being like some sort of god. Again, the story does become weak as you progress through the game. It can be a bit repetitive at times, but generally missions are different as you go from one side of Bolivia to another, and some choices you make do have like a domino effect on the cartel, where some inner wars and disputes start. So your missions do make an impact. Then we arrive to the world, aka the environment. Now, being a huge world filled with towns and details, the problem is that they're always empty and lack detail. People just seem to be walking around without any special tasks or routines that make the world alive. Also, there isn't a lot of people in the cities, well, more like towns, but still it just feels empty. Now, don't get me wrong, you do have a side activity, but the world itself feels just generic, even though the jungles and the mountains are beautiful, and sometimes you will just stop to admire the scenery. So even though I had a lot of fun in this game, it still lacks a lot of things to be a perfect game. Now, I can go and nitpick for hours about the things I would change or add or improve, but generally it's not a bad game. It is an improvement for Ubisoft and the community that follows Tom Clancy games, even though right now Tom Clancy is more of a sticker you put in a game to make it more appealing rather than having Tom Clancy write about that game. The man did pass away, sadly. So all in all, if they do decide to make Wildlands 2 and they address all these issues, it can honestly be an amazing game, depending on how much time they actually spend developing this. Well, how much time does Ubisoft give to the developers that create this game. There are also Uplay problems, well, being Uplay, but that is a story for another day. I will continue to play this game from time to time. They did add the Predator event, which I really enjoyed, but generally this game does have some amazing moments, and I think that in the future Ubisoft can do a great job if they listen to the community like they did with Assassin's Creed. Again, that is all I have for today. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button and tell me in the comments what you think about Ghost Recon Wildlands. This is LastKnownMeal signing out, stay classy everyone, and bye bye.